Right, so it's halfway through the year, so I thought I'd do a bottom 5 and a top 5 list of the year, and this being my bottom 5 of the year. So I'm going to look back at films that have come out between the 1st of January 2012 to the 30th of June 2012 in the UK. So it may be a film that came out last year in the US, but all these films are what came out this year in the UK. Now, first of all, let's see what films didn't make it to my bottom 5. Mirror Mirror, which was a really, really bland adaptation of a great fairy tale. I mean, the sets were just low production, the cast was just... you know what, I'm not even going to go into it because I'll just end up ranting. It was terrible. There was Wrath of the Titans, which was a head-bashingly boring and just all over the place sequel, and a sequel that nobody wanted because I am yet to meet many people who loved Clash of the Titans. And then there was Act of Valor, which is a really corrupt film which tries to not glorify war but ends up doing so in the process, and actually just makes for an extended 2-hour-long recruitment video for people who are thinking about going into the army. So it was just repugnant filth. And then there was 2 films that address subject matters, and they ended up just polishing them and making them really too clean. And that's What to Expect When You're Expecting and Friends with Kids. Now, What to Expect When You're Expecting, it was a film about 5 pregnant women, but you didn't believe that any of them were pregnant. I mean, they all still looked like film stars, and you know, it was an unfunny piece of trash. Then there was Friends with Kids, which was trying to show how 2 friends just have a kid together with no romantic ties, and that ended up just being a cliched, unfunny mess of a film. So they're both kind of the same. Now let's start on my bottom 5 list. At number 5, I thought this was going to be much higher up on my list, but it's actually only number 5, and that's Battleship. Battleship is an example of an overlong, overloud mess of a film. I mean, every couple of seconds you just hear and by the end of it you're just wore down by all the noise, all the special effects, that you just don't care about anything and you're just in your seat like this. It was a film by a director who'd clearly watched too many Michael Bay films and took all the horrible, repugnant parts of it, such as the comedy, you know, the overuse of special effects, its portrayal of women, and just completely smashed it together and stamped on it. So Battleship at number 5. Now at number 4, it features a central performance by someone who I'm really starting to get tired of. He knows what people think of him now, and he's clearly forcing that nature out, and that is Ghost Rider 2. Now, Nicolas Cage, I am really getting tired of this over-the-top zany performance that he does. And Ghost Rider 2 is a film that's trying so hard to be bad it's good, but it's just not. It's just complete trash from beginning to end. There was not a single thing I could find enjoyable about that film. Nicolas Cage he just annoyed the hell out of me. I never want to see Ghost Rider 2 again. Now at number 3, people are going on about how The Devil Inside is, you know, probably one of the worst horror films this year, along with like the Chernobyl Diaries. But there's a film that I saw which I really don't recommend anyone sees, and that is Grave Encounters. Now Grave Encounters is about a group of people who spend a night, who are part of a television show that see ghosts, and spend a night in a mental asylum. And from there you just get a cliched, not scary, annoying character filled pile of crap. It is crap of the highest order. I wanted to just see those characters die as quickly as possible because I had no interest in that film whatsoever, and I just wanted to leave that cinema. Now, number 2, I've kind of let myself have 2 films simultaneously on this one because they're both pretty much here for the same reasons. And these films are The Darkest Hour and Piranha 3DD. Now these are films that are clearly straight to TV films. There is no reason for them to be on the big screen. The Darkest Hour, it features a really repetitive narrative structure as these group of unlikable characters go from point A to point B and to another point, and it just wears you down. I was hoping when I got in there, you know, I'd just be able to shut my brain off for an hour and a half and see some aliens kicking ass, you know, just destruction, and you It is people spending time in rooms, explaining the plot, doing nothing, making poor choices, and I just wanted to just be a part of that invasion so I could get killed. And it's the same with Piranha 3DD as well. It's using gore forcibly for laughs and to gross people out, and it works on neither of those levels because it just feels so forced and artificial. I mean, David Cronenberg, in his horror films, when he used gore, they were for an emotional response, and they worked. But in Piranha 3DD, it's used for those, for other reasons, and for those other reasons it doesn't work at all. So yeah, they're both at number 2. They're just terrible, avoid them at all costs. But none of these films are as bad as one film I saw. Now, sometimes when you get a straight-to-DVD film, it can be quite good. It can be a pleasant surprise, and you wonder why it wasn't at cinemas. And unfortunately, that's not the case for Elephant White. Elephant White, I can't even explain what it's about, because I literally just could not be engaged with that film on any level whatsoever. It features a terrible central performance by Digimon Hunsoon. I'm not sure how you pronounce his name. And an even worse supporting performance from Kevin Bacon. Now, Kevin Bacon is my favourite actor of all time, no doubt about it. But in this, he puts on this Australian English mixture of an accent and a Keith Richards impression, and I was just looking at the screen like, what? What? And its ideas are all over the place. I mean, it deals with a really sensitive issue of teenage prostitution, and it's just used as a plot device, and you're just there like, how can you not address this issue? How can you not show the filth and the torture that these children go through? And then just when you think it can't get any worse, with the bland action, the bland characters, how it's shot, everything about it sucks, and you just think it can't get any worse. In the last 5 minutes, a really ridiculous plot twist is introduced. I mean, it is ridiculous. It made me want to self-harm. Elephant White is the worst film of the year, and if something tops it this year, I will probably overdose, because that is just going to ruin my faith in cinema. So no, that's my personal bottom 5. You may not agree with it, you may agree with it, I don't know. But what's your bottom 5? I'd like to know. Just comment below and let me know. And as usual, if you like this, just click subscribe and you can see more.